We're rolling. I got the meter set at the K2000 range. It's so hard to test this stuff. Okay, this is the normal without any doping. I don't get nothing. Touch them together I do, but no resistance, none. This is the piece that we just made, the larger piece, nothing. No resistance. So the Epsom salts does not lower the resistance. Now this here is a piece I done yesterday. It is 1 part activated charcoal. And you do get a reading. Come on. This is set at K2000. So at least with the activated charcoal, I was able to bring down the resistance. Very sensitive to the probes. But I had her up close to 98, so we'll go down to the 200K. No reading. I did get a little bit of a reading on the setting yesterday. It seems like it might have lost a tad. Very sensitive, this stuff. No reading. I found this on the ground, so it has a little bit of moisture in it. No reading. Okay. Just use one of these sticks. So we know that a normal piece like this, you see how it's imprinted from the tinfoil on the back? Very hard, quite dense. The density has actually increased in the last couple of days. Make a good wafer for a battery, maybe a crystal battery. This one here, very light, more porous, more like foam wool. Like this piece here only weighs 4 grams, 3 grams. My scale kind of jumps in increments of 2. So we know that adding the Epsom salts, it does not lower resistance, but we know that if we add activated charcoal, it does lower resistance. So this is the 1 part 50 to 1 part. I actually used the capsule, 1 capsule of activated charcoal. I did have a second piece with 2, but that fell apart. And so I'm going to probably do a repeat of all 3 tomorrow, so I can do one activated carbon test. The one test after that I like to do is using graphite. So, you know, Maurice Ward, the guy that invented the Starlight, he worked out of his kitchen, just like me. You never know what this is going to do, but in my gut, like before discovering how to make this stuff accidentally, I was planning on taking the dry breadcrumbs and see if they go down into a powder, but they actually fuse, they actually crystallize. And that's what happens when you apply heat in a sealed container. You know, you seal it away from the air. It speeds up the crystallization process where the starch breaks down and begins to reform into crystals. I'm just going to give you a little show around here since I got the stick. It's my big piece, but I'm really disappointed. Oh, something fell there. You can see the big crack in the side. I want to make a little cooling chamber out of that. Have a piece on the bottom and core it out where I can put a piece of ice and see if it's going to melt the ice at room temperature just being kept in. Then I can make a smaller one out of the other one over there and put some water in there on a base and see if it's going to freeze or not in the freezer. Okay, what a mess, eh? But definitely, this is me. No, definitely there's potential on this. And what I see, my gut feeling tells me that this is going to work for a new form of crystal battery that John Hutchison rediscovered. They actually used crystal batteries back in Egypt, and they had no power chargers. So the crystal batteries that he made, you know, they've been working for 5 years, putting out about a half a volt, you know, 0.5 of a volt. Continuous power. Can't beat that. So that's what I'm hoping. And like 2 weeks ago, I had a dream where I saw these power cells are about 3 by 24 inches, just like a piece of 3-inch plastic pipe. They all plugged into a bank, and I knew that each one had was 12 volts. So if this could actually be used to make crystal cells, you could take these here and refine them down, maybe to a quarter. To you have to sand them off and clean them up to where you could actually make a stack. So you could say if you had 2 of these doped with the crystal salt solutions and that gallium and whatever, you could actually produce maybe a volt per inch. So that's not bad. You never know. Okay, gonna leave it here. This is part 3. Just showing you the ropes of my discovery. That it was totally unintentional, but you know, some of the best discoveries come that way. This is Joshua Taylor coming from here in Hope, British Columbia, Canada. That's all my stuff there. I bought all those small jars are just perfect for putting the leftovers in. Everything has to be marked. From here in Hope, British Columbia, Canada.